Hey, what's up, guys? It's your girl Cherrell. I'm the host of Let's Talk, and this ain't a podcast. We're just gonna wait till everybody files in a little bit. I know that we typically just start the show right away, but I don't want to do that, so we're just gonna wait a little bit. Let's see here. Was. There we go. So I'm waiting till a few more people tune in here. So I don't know if you guys saw, but we are going to be live today with none other than Sydney B. She's the founder of Mother of Green, and I cannot wait to talk with her today, guys. I know you guys are gonna love this episode. It's gonna be lit. And I'm corny, no pun intended, but you guys are going to have so much fun. You're definitely going to learn a lot, and we definitely got a lot of valuable information for you guys today. So you don't want to miss it. I haven't said what I'm grateful for today, and I will say that I am grateful for I don't know, I think I say I'm grateful for clarity. I think that's what I say I'm grateful for. I think that I picked great. I think I picked clarity a lot. I want to say I'm grateful today for I don't know. I'm stumped today, y'all. I don't know what I'm grateful for. But we are going to get started. I don't want to wait any longer. Let's get started. This episode is going to be really fun. You guys are going to love it. So bear with me here just a few moments. Hello. Hi. Hi. It's so nice to see you. Meet you at first.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, beautiful. So I was like, I can't hear. Yes. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Beautiful. I have a snack because I kind of have the munchies. So I'm sorry in advance.
That's fine. So the ritual is that when you get on the show, you got to give us something that you're grateful for.
Oh, you know what? I'm grateful for abundance. So by abundance, I mean for an abundance of love, an abundance of family, for the abundance of my home, my car, like being able to move back and forth, my job. Everything is just, to me, is abundance. It's things that I didn't have before. So I'm very grateful.
I like that. I really like that. I'm gonna take that. So I ain't give y'all what I'm grateful for. Mine is gonna be abundance. I stole hers.
Yeah.
So let's get started. So you are the founder of Mother of Green. So how did you get started smoking? Like, how did that come about?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first, disclaimer, I apologize if you guys can hear a dog barking. My mom just came to my house and got my dog all excited, so he's being rude. However, so pretty much, so I went to Western Michigan University, and I studied film, video, and media. Hold on one moment. Mama! Sorry, I couldn't even concentrate. Do apologize. But yeah, so I went to Western Michigan University, and I studied film, video, and media studies. And when I graduated in 2016, I basically just needed to figure out and to find my lane for what I could do in journalism, right? And it was at the time where everybody was becoming a photographer, a videographer. Everyone is an aspiring news anchor or news journalist. We had blogs, like that was when the Shade Room was really, really popping. All these different things and all these different avenues came, and it was just well, where does little old me actually fit in, right? And I had to figure out what was my lane. What are the things that I actually like? Girl, I love weed. And it took me a year to just be yeah, I'm gonna talk about weed, because it was something that's so taboo, where whether it's a man or a woman, it's that drug that's always looked down upon. Yeah. It's just you smoke weed, you do this, especially being a girl. And prior to this, I had just that super squeaky clean image. Just, I am this professional reporter, journalist, and this is all that I do. No, girl, I had to find my own lane. I had to differentiate myself and figure it out. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put it out there. I like weed. I love weed. And you should too, because it helps us and doing X, Y, and Z. And from there, the mother of green was birthed.
I love that. Okay, first of all, you just answered like the next like 4 questions. Let's just start there. But
Dang, my bad. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. They didn't come here to hear me talk. They hear me talk every Tuesday. They came here. It's fine. It's fine. So Mother of Green came about. So you probably, would you say you probably, like, did you smoke before college or did you smoke during college? Like, how did that, like, when did you kind of like discover marijuana?
Yeah, so I smoked before college, but it was not like a regular type thing. So like when I turned like 16, 17, I had an ex-boyfriend at the time where his sister was like one of the very first Michigan medical marijuana patients.
Wow.
And you know, when she was smoking, I used to just be like, y'all gonna die, y'all gonna get cancer, like you smoking, like that's so horrible, you should not do that. Like, you know, just girl, I was giving them the list, the dictionary list. And it was just one day, it was like, I think it was a hotel party to be exact. And he was just like, you know what, try it. And I had another friend who I was actually close with. And she like, you can try it, like you'll be okay. So I was just like, all right, we gotta try it. The best night ever. That first is nothing like that first time when you ever experience getting high, because it's just like, wow. Whoa. So and kind of like from there it was still very moderate, like very, very moderate even throughout college. And then like more so in my senior year, like when I got an apartment and everything, it was like, all right, I can smoke in my own facility, in my own space. I can wake and bake, I can go to sleep to a blunt, I can do this. So
I like that. I love that. Oh, I love that. So I agree with you. Ain't nothing like the first time. I don't smoke weed currently now. I lie. I do a little bit, but not like.
It's okay, girl. It's okay.
Okay, so you start Mother Green, and kind of tell us like what brought you to the point to say that, you know, why did you want to educate people about it? Because I see your site, and I know you do sell a few products. But more importantly, it looks like your dank of the day is really about educating people on different strains of marijuana. So what made you say, you know what, that this is, I want to educate people about this?
Mm-hmm. So for me, the biggest thing was taking it back to being a woman, right? A woman who really enjoys to smoke. But I can remember it to be a specific thing. I was helping out this guy on this video shoot, and he was just scrolling on Instagram, and he had came past this one girl's picture and was like, damn, she been smoking all that weed, she need to stop. It was just like that passive judgment that came, because it was like, well, first of all, what made you think that she was happy when she was thicker? You know what I'm saying? Just because you approved of it, that didn't mean that she necessarily approved of it. Right. And then how do you know that she doesn't love where she is now? How do you know that she's not utilizing weed to help her on a bigger scale, where she's using it to actually, you know, cope through some things? She could have a medical condition. Like I told you, my ex-boyfriend's sister, she was one of the first. She had endometriosis. So she needed that to stimulate an appetite for her. She didn't have major weight gain. So, you know, it is so many different reasons as to why we utilize it. And that was my biggest thing. It was to really debunk, but to also make women like me feel, girl, smoke, it's okay. Use a topical, eat an edible. Who the hell is getting ready to tell you otherwise? You grown, do it in moderation and love it.
I love it. I definitely agree. There is a very big stigma with women smoking. And I was just talking to my sister, and I was like, the number one thing is, it ain't cute to be smoking. It's like, who said I was trying to be cute?
Hello, who said that I was doing this to be in a beauty contest? I'm doing this for my relief, my release, for it to help me. I'm not doing this for it to be the next damn fad, because I'm trying to ride the damn boat. No,
I agree. I definitely
want to smoke our blunts.
She got one now.
Okay, they know me.
So tell me, what was it like? Tell me like the first moment that you kind of pitched your idea starting Mother of Green to, like, you know, friends or family, and what was that like? What do you remember from that moment?
So I actually only told 2 people. One person was my boyfriend, because, you know, it's like my BFF. So I'm about to tell you, hey, this is what I'm getting ready to do.
Right.
And then the other person was, her name is Courtney Randolph, and she was my brand manager at the time. And it was, how do I do this in the classiest, most professional way possible? I don't, you know, I had went through Instagram. I looked at different pages who did actually have weed, who did actually talk about it. I'm like, you know, girl, I don't want to do this. I don't want it to just look like a meme page. I don't want it to not be any content of substance. And I actually do want to teach people. So how can I spin this and still use my degree and use all of my own knowledge while we still can actually have fun? And that was, you know, pretty much how it went. So it was just really telling 2 people. And from there, it was like, you either like it or you love it. And if you don't, it's okay, because I'm still going to smoke.
Right. I like that. I love it. I want to, were you worried about the backlash that you might catch from that? I know that you had already come into the idea, but what did that bother you? Were you worried about, like,
I was. So it was on my mind for a year before I actually started.
wow.
And yes, like it was just like I can't do this. An aspect of image. Like I'm professional. I'm like the girl next door. Like people don't see that. Like
Yeah.
I was so in love with the idea when people used to be like, "Wow, Sydney, you smoke." That's how you know I got my shit together, because you don't even know that I smoke. I don't want to look at that. But it just really took it. Like I said, after kind of hearing that boy and overhearing what he was saying about the young lady and how she felt about it, it was like, all right, it's time. It's just time to make a change, because it's not so much that I'm smoking to have fun, but I'm smoking because it makes me feel good. I'm smoking because it's boosting my creativity, and it's just taking me a bit further. So that's kind of that.
I love that. I love that. And I'm so happy. I actually went on your page and I was looking. I'm like, you know what? I had never seen that before. I'm not even gonna. I seen the cannabis. Like I seen the dispensaries pop up, but I had never seen, real honestly, in particular, women do it. I had never seen women taking cannabis and putting their twist on it and talking about it the way you talk about it. I actually really do. I enjoyed Dank of the Day. Like I was like, oh, I like this. I think I even shared it at one point. You was like, thanks, girl. And I was like, this is nice. I like this. So I really love that. And I definitely think that, thank you for putting yourself on a chopping block, because somebody has to take that step forward to be like, yo, this is what I like to do. Because 9 times out of 10, there are 1,000 women coming behind you that do the same thing, but they're just too scared to do it. So somebody has to take that step. So thank you for doing that. We got a couple comments.
And that was it too. Like I used to have a lot of, and that was my biggest fear. Like, I was doing it for the women. I was just like, dang, I don't want for women to be like, no, you're talking about this. Like, I'm unfollowing you. And I actually got the opposite. I got more women who were like, wow, thank you for this. Like, thank you for making me feel good about me actually smoking. And it was just like, wow, girl, I'm happy that you feel good, because I'm making this for us. So as long as you feel great about it, you understand, they feel so much more comfortable now about ordering edibles, because it's a woman. So it's not so much like, oh, it's a man trying to talk to you possibly, and you got to get your edible. And no, sis, what you need. And I'm going to tell you how this going to help you. You get to ask all your questions, and you get to feel it's a very comfortable experience from start to finish. And that's really what I loved about it.
And I love that. I think that, and I think a lot of times between men and women, especially when it comes to weed, there's always kind of like a sexual underlying aspect to it. And so you kind of cut that out, and it is very comfortable if you could just go to them like, hey, I get this, XYZ, and keep it moving. So I definitely agree with that. So I did want to talk about, you start Mother Green, you kind of, you even go against the odds in doing so, and now you're beating all these stigmas. There are obviously protocols that you have to go through in order to sell online. Can you tell me a little bit about what that's like, and what do you do to ensure that you're selling to the appropriate age group?
Yeah, absolutely. So, excuse me. You really hit it on the nose. Like, cannabis is such a tricky industry when it comes to just selling any type of product, distributing anything. So for me, especially just being like a sole proprietor and being like my own business, it is figuring out which website platform can I actually host my business on, right? Because some of them will literally disconnect you, take your site down, and it's just because of the banks that they're using. They don't accept CBD or THC, like any type of marijuana type transactions. Totally understandable. So it was figuring that out. B is also just making sure getting the products tested, right? So making sure for the topical creams and the lip balms and things like that you're putting on your lips, making sure that they're properly tested to know the amount of THC, CBD, and the benefits also within them. And then also being transparent with my audience as much as possible. So like literally on my website in the description, I put the full ingredients. So it's basically like if you ever wanted to make it at home for yourself, you can make it at home. But it's also to be transparent with you, so that way you understand, it's ingredients that you can always pronounce. It's ingredients that you can go and buy literally from anywhere, Walmart, Target, CVS, I don't care. Just go buy it. And you can actually make these things and can see the benefits of them. So it's really just kind of like the biggest tidbit is figuring out the right bank that you can sell under.
Wow. See, I never thought of that. But I can only imagine that people don't want to be associated with something that they don't believe in. So I can see how the banks will be very strict on, who they allow to sell cannabis or how they do those transactions.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell me about, let's talk about, I definitely want to talk about your aspect of, wait, let's see. We got a couple comments here. I definitely just want to acknowledge these people. We got somebody just tuned in. I'm rolling up. Go ahead then. More power
Roll
to
up.
somebody right on time. Somebody saying talk that shit with the little loud emoji. Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for joining. If y'all do smoke or, you know, drop a little leaf or something. Drop some little smoke things in the box for me.
Yes.
So let's talk about I just
We're
want to talk about
virtually matching today.
I want to talk about an aspect of your show, which is Dank of the Day. Tell me how you kind of got that started and why did you want to do Dank of the Day?
So before I started this, I used to have this little type of show called the Social B Show. So talk shows, all those things, they are my thing. They are my life. So I just wanted to figure out how can I just create something where it just educates you on the different strands. And ironically, what is the show? It's a Netflix show. Oh, it's like slipping my mind, but like I love this show. It only has 2 parts. Basically, it's all about weed. And they used to do like this small little segment called Strand of the Day. And they would just teach the, the people about it. And I was like, oh, that is so cool. This is about to be the one time that I just feel what is happening in the show because this is really, really great. And I was like, well, I'm not going to call it Strand of the Day because that's really theirs on Netflix. Right. I was like, we're just going to call it Dank of the Day because it's the Dank. And we need to also know what we smoking on. Like, let's kind of introduce people to what else is out there. Because, mostly if you're somebody who doesn't smoke on a normal, but you just go ahead and ask a person, like, what's some good weed? They're going to be like, you can get the Zazas, the Runts. But what if you're a person who just, that's too strong for you? You're a beginner. So give me something else. All right, maybe a little White Widow, an ice cream cake, a Blue Dream even. It's just giving people variety to where they're not just like, damn, I got to get the Zazas and go in. And then it's like, now your ass is on the couch. Now you can't do nothing. Wow. You ain't going nowhere. You're stuck. And now you done had a bad weed experience because you messed around and smoked something that you knew was too damn strong for you. So with that being said, somebody got to have y'all back and make sure that y'all get the good stuff, the things that you guys can actually smoke. And then it's also just teaching people every strand is not for you. Like, I was just having this conversation with my friend, and we were just talking about, like, the taste, right? Like, just the pungent, the grungy type taste that you actually get in weed. I do not like the grungy taste. My friend absolutely loves it. I'm somebody who loves it to be, like, sweet, real natural, just real calming type taste. So it's just a different aspect. It's a different experience. I just want to tell people, like, let me tell you what you're going to get before you even get it. Because weed is expensive. So it would be nice if somebody could just give us a good review before we actually spend our money on it.
I agree. I definitely agree. I do have a pen, and it was very expensive to get that pen.
Okay. See what I'm saying? Little card be like $40.
Yes.
This better get me lit. And if it don't, it's just like, well, shit, I done lost $40. So imagine a person going to get an A or a zip or just, look, you need to know what you get and just know straight up. And if it don't hit, I'm going to tell y'all, I just don't hit.
Y'all hear it? Y'all got to holler at your girl because I don't know nothing about nothing for real. That ain't even my lane no more. But so I'm first off, I'm happy that I got you on here to talk about this topic. I think that this is something that is extremely familiar in the Black community. I don't think that any of us are strangers to it, or any of us are strangers to people that are strangers to the criminal system, or justice system with this. And I think that we've been severely impacted by marijuana, and we're seeing these dispensaries pop up left and right of people that don't look like us, but profiting off the very same thing. That I know people that are still, dealing with cases because of that. How do you using Mother Green? How do you use that to combat that, or how do you feel about that necessarily?
That is such a great question because that's something that I'm genuinely am literally now ongoing trying to combat, right? It's literally something that I'm just trying to navigate and really understand and figure out because, like you said, at one point, they was locking up everybody who looked like you and I, even if you just got a gram in your pocket, you going to jail because that is money that they getting ready to make off of you, right? Yep. For just the smallest type amounts. Well, those people typically are still in jail, anybody who went with them. So that basically sucks for them. And then also, it's like I said, it's really just about how do we figure out the stigmas, right? So understanding people who look like us, who want to open up provision centers and dispensaries, girl, it's a rat race. It's basically like they chasing their tail. The amount in which they have to pay, all of the documentation that they always want to see. So it seems more like, for example, we here in Detroit, I'm just gonna be honest with you, some of our provision centers and dispensaries, they're a little bit illegal, like off the books. They're not like super duper official, right? Whereas you go to places like Bay, Michigan, Adrian, Michigan, Battle Creek, they actually have official ones there. And I found that our people, in order for them to have something official in that type of realm, they have to go to those cities. Because in doing it here, it seems like they're under a microscope like no other. And granted, yes, they're still going to be under a microscope when they do go out under those cities. But it's to the point now where we all need to be up under the same damn microscope. Okay, because it's all doing the same exact thing to us. We're all selling the same exact stuff. It's bud, it's tree, it's it's extracts, it's topicals, it's edibles. Like, come on now. So it is definitely something where I just tell anybody who's in this space, who is growing their business, who's offering products, who, even if you don't even want like a brick and mortar, but you just want to still offer things on the side, do that. Get the licenses that you need, like your caregiver's license. Get your medical marijuana card. Everybody, even though it is recreational, get your medical marijuana card. Because if you were to ever get pulled over or so with marijuana on your person, here's my card. Here's my card. So, it excuses you. Granted, if it's not in the proper packaging that it's supposed to be in, like a little green tube or like a little lockbox and stuff like that, they may still say something to you. However, it's not as big of a conversation, right? It's just, you can kind of play it off like, I just had to go get my medicine. Get your caregiver's card. So that way, and this is something that I just learned. So since I just learned this, I want everybody else to do it. Get your caregiver's card, because although you are a sole proprietor or an individual who is making things like edibles or infused foods, topicals, things like that, you can still be able to build partnerships with dispensaries, because you are still considered a caregiver who can at least hold up to like 12 plants, right? So you can actually be able to produce these products. Like, yeah, you can be able to do these things. So it's ways around it. It's definitely still ways to like get your feet wet. But the biggest thing that I have definitely learned right now with us is all about partnerships. Partnerships, growing strong with those people, so that way they are able to understand, like, and most of them do, because even though, yes, granted, they get to come up with their dispensary and get to have it in like our areas and things like that, and it gets to be real big, they still have the issues of, well, you don't necessarily know this community, right? So how do you draw your customers in? How do you get them to be regulars for you, right? So that's when you need people like myself, who are just individuals who know this community, who can be able to say like, all right, this is a good person for you. Like, this is a good place where all these people actually need to go. So it's definitely like, it's like a two-way street basically for everybody, because we all need each other at some point.
I definitely agree with that. And oftentimes you do see a lot of these centers reach out to local celebrities to get that foot traffic in, because they don't know our communities. But I just can't help but think how unfair it is that we don't get that cut. Like, they're getting a nice chunk of money and we ain't getting in on that, because like you said, it is a rat race. There's a lot of money just to start getting those licenses, to just start getting people to look at your applications. And so, we definitely gotta, it's so much more about getting money and trying to keep economics to get all that. It's insane. But, Black people are constantly affected. Our children are definitely affected by this. We can't, play dumb and act like they don't see it, because they smell it, they see it, they hear it. How does Mother Green not necessarily cater to children, but how do you even attempt to educate children about smoking? Because we got to acknowledge that they see it, they hear it. So, how does that play a role into Mother Green?
So kids are such like a slippery slope. They like a little teetering tottering type of subject. So I have not fully more so like gotten into like the whole, how to like you educate kids, but I do it with like the kids in my family, right? So I don't have any children, but I have nieces and nephews, and cousins who I'm very close with, always see them. It's not a secret, right, in our household to what it is. They understand this is not for you. It's just like alcohol. Basically,
Bro.
this is not for you. This is for the actual adults. Don't touch it. You might see it, you might know it, and they're respecting that child of do not smoke around that child. You don't want for them to have secondhand smoke. You don't want for them their clothes to be saturated with smoke. Where when they walk out the house, it's like, well, damn, is it you or is it the kid? And that, it just looks really bad. So it's really just it's respecting them, but also just kind of teaching them. Like, it's so crazy, but my 13-year-old sister literally just last year turned in a damn project that was all about marijuana. Yeah, so like other kids talk about like abstinence and sex and stuff like that, and she turned in a project about weed. So it's just it's all about their approach. It's totally different. And then when you educate them, they're able to understand, okay, this is not something that I need right now because my brain is still developing at this point. So I'm good. I can definitely wait my turn on this. That's when that transparency piece that I feel like that's when kids more so they understand. But if you make it like, oh, I'm not gonna tell you what this is. Oh, I'm sneaking it, or don't worry about it. That's when you start to tip their interest a bit, because it's like, all right, well, I'm trying to see what all the hype is about, because you keep on sneaking it, the whole family sneaking it, all the adults don't want us to have it, won't even tell us anything about it. What exactly is it? And then also, a lot of studies, especially in Denver, Colorado, shows you that cannabis actually does help a lot of kids. Where over in Denver, Colorado, they actually get licenses. Correct. Yes. So if the child is a cancer patient, like recovering from their cancer, and also is an epileptic patient, so they have epileptic seizures and things like that, this actually helps to stimulate those nerves within. Wow. It helps to help them to curate an appetite. So it really depends on how you choose to really educate the kids. But I don't like to keep them in the dark, but I also don't specifically target for the kids. Like, just come on my website, you got to be 21. And that's like a disclaimer as if it was like a porno site. Are you 21?
I like that. Let's see. I think we have a question here. So we do have a question here. Superstars B said, what you smoking on now? If you guys got questions, feel free to drop them in there, guys. Don't be afraid. That's really why this show is. I definitely want you guys to ask those questions and get those answers. So, Sydney, what you smoking on now?
This is San Fernando Valley. I have to get it. So this is San Fran. This is San Fran. I got that. And I have some of the forbidden fruit still in front of me, which was our dank of the day today. So if nobody checked it out, y'all know.
Okay. So I know that a lot of different strains have they have different effects on people. And you said San Fran. What type of strain is that? Is that like a sativa? I don't know nothing. So I'm going to be...
Like, there are hybrid. So San Fran, it's an indica. That's kind of like why I'm like going real slow, because I really should be passing it to the people within the room, but nobody got up to get it. So it seems like this is all a me thing, and only gonna be a me thing at this point. So but it is an indica strand. It is pretty good. Like, this is one of those strands where I say that I can actually smoke it because it has like that nice, natural, like piney type taste to it. It's not super grungy or pungent. And for me, it gives you a nice little moderate type high. I won't say that it leaves you like super stuck in the couch, but you do feel like, all right, I'm high. I'm high, if that makes sense. Like, I know it's a little hard, but it's like, I feel it. I'm a little stuck. Like, you'll find yourself kind of daydreaming a bit, a time or two, and then it's like, all right, yeah, I gotta get up and do something. So, yeah.
All right, let's see. I think we got another question here. Somebody commented and said, why you ain't pass it?
I did try to, and they need to stop lying, because I did try to. I've tried to pass it. I've also tried to give them this weed to roll up, and they're not doing anything but watching this live. So at this point, it's not me, it's them. I gave them. I said the supplies are here. See, and now all they did was take the weed, y'all. The fronto's still sitting here. So what they about to do? What they get ready to do? Exactly.
Now
they lying, because they know. That's exactly why. I can't even pick it up no more to show y'all, because they just got it. Just saying. I made that a disclaimer when we first came into the studio. You can get the weed and roll it up. And what they do? They went to go sit down. Where the blunt go? So there we go. And they want this. But no, nobody wanted it when I first had it. So at this point, we gonna roll up another one.
We got another one that asks about rescue lips. That is the lip balm.
Oh, yes. All right, you guys. So right now, I literally just sold out of my rescue lips. But as soon as we get off this call, I'm going to make a brand new like set of it, so you guys will be able to definitely order you some. So rescue lips, for those who may not know anything about it, it is a medicated infused lip balm. So it is perfect for when you really want to tone your lips. So you guys, you know that when we're smoking our blunts, our bongs, our bows, when we put any type of heat to our lips, it is burning them. We get like that little black line, or the lips just start turning black overall, right? You're going to put you on that rescue lips. Not only is it medicated with 3 milligrams of THC, but it's also it's infused with honey, and that honey is like an agent to help to re-promote that collagen within your lips, so it makes you pop it, and it especially works if you use it right before you smoke your blunt. Because then it won't be wet.
I like that. So I do have a question, because it is medicated. Do you get high, or is it too small to get a high, or like what is that like? How does that work?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So it honestly depends on you. If you're somebody who just does not smoke at all, you're gonna get a little buzz. So it's not gonna get you like, I don't want anybody to feel like they about to be like, yes, I'm putting on my rescue lips and I'm stuck. No, it's not about to do that. Okay, it only got 3 milligrams in there, y'all. So do not expect anything like that. But you will be like, all right, I'm feeling something, and you may be trying to figure out what I'm feeling, my rescue lips. But if you're a regular smoker like me, like every day, whether you wake and bake or have it right before you go to bed, baby, you ain't gonna feel it. All you need to worry about is make sure them lips stay pink and nice and gorgeous.
I like that. I like that. I like that. So we did kind of touch on just a little bit of the different strands. So can you run us down like what the different strands are and what their effects are?
Yeah, like all the strands?
No, like no.
Oh,
okay. So
like, you mean what's infused in the rescue lips, everything? Woo, girl. Okay, no. Because I was so getting ready to say.
No, aren't they like categories like
I tried to interrupt us and call. So yeah, like so rescue lips is actually, let me think. Oh, boom. Both of them are actually infused with Gorilla Glue. Both the rescue lips and the mother's butter, all those are infused with Gorilla Glue. And Gorilla Glue is pretty much an indica strand. It's like one of my favorite, like go-to kind of like everyday strands that you guys can have. Like I said, it's an indica, so it's gonna put you on a couch, but it won't leave you like super slumped, but definitely slumped enough, especially if you face one by yourself. So that's kind of like how the strands really are within. Now with the topical cream, however, you won't get high at all. Because it's a topical, you won't ever, yes ma'am, you don't even have to worry about it seeping in your bloodstream. So you can take a good drug test and boom, you're still gonna pass. I mean, unless you're just smoking, clearly you're not gonna pass. But if all you're doing is just like using the mother's butter, you're fine. It's in comparison to like your Bengay.
Okay. So what is like the indica, the hybrid? What are those? Are those like category or strands? Or tell me about those.
So it is actually more. It's not the category of strand, but the category of effects of the strand. So indica, the best way to that's why I keep on saying like you won't be stuck in the couch, because the best way to remember is indica leaves you in the couch. Sativa allows for you just to be up, moving. You know, you still high, but you're more like on that focus high, but you're just up and about. And then a hybrid is just the best of both worlds. Now you can definitely have some hybrids that are more so like indica hybrids, sativa hybrids, and that just means that either one of those effects are a bit more potent than the other. However, it's still a hybrid strand because its parent strands were of those two different strands, of those two different categories.
That makes sense. And so let's talk about strands then. You talk about Day of the Day, you run Mother Green. What are your top 5 strands?
Oh, I just was asked this. All right, so it's so weird. I don't really have a top 5, but I do have a top 2. Okay, I know I don't have a top 5, but my top 2 are Napoleon. Are Napoleon by Nipsey Hussle, and Blueberry Pie.
Okay, so tell me, what is Napoleon? What is that? You gonna be stuck in the couch, or you gonna be up and going?
Napoleon was actually more of a hybrid strand to me when I tried it. And it literally, it just hit me just real lively, pretty like lit. But you know, like how you have, how would I put it in comparison? A good sangria or like a good mimosa for like brunch, right? What have you? That was how I felt with the Napoleon.
Okay.
And I actually had it when I was in Cali, so you could kind of only imagine that I was really indulging in like the Cali lifestyle as well as smoking my Napoleon. So it was like,
I like
yes,
that.
we are
And then
doing
you
it.
said blueberry pie, I think you said?
So that's
Okay,
more
what's
of
that?
that's also a hybrid, but it's more of a sativa hybrid. Super duper fruity, super delicious. Also definitely makes you feel good. I like fruity strands and I like things that smell good. So literally, just like you can smell the blueberry aspect, you can also taste the blueberry aspect. So I definitely did love that. I love both.
I like that. So, for anybody that is looking to kind of get into becoming a cannabis enthusiast, what are some tips that you would have for them, or how do they, learn to smoke responsibly? Because that is a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't
Um,
indulge.
That's such a great question because I'm actually getting ready to come out with a video that gives you ways for how you can get into the industry.
Boom.
So the first thing is definitely educate yourself, like know a bit what you're talking about and not so much just telling people like to just spark up and then it's like you don't really know anything. At least know the basics, sativa, hybrid, indica, right? How it's going to be, like know a few different strands. But if you are somebody who wants to get in, the first and the biggest piece of advice is don't be afraid and just do it. Start it because this community is like a big community that will certainly take you in and love you like no other. Because like I said, it's just so many people who just really, really enjoy cannabis. And then also, even if you don't necessarily have to become a connoisseur because you can do anything in this industry. So for example, you can be a cannabis security guard. So that just means that you are the person who's checking people as they walk in and out of the dispensaries, right? You're making sure that everything is pretty good. You can be a provision center accountant. So if you're already somebody who works in that accounting field, who's already in finance, we need accountants. We need people in payroll. We need people, to do our checks and balances for us all throughout the actual dispensaries, even through brands and companies who also make like different beauty products, right? So if you're somebody who makes those different beauty products, so like right now, a lot of women are into like makeup. A lot of people are coming out with their own makeup line. But why not think about like a THC or a CBD infused makeup line, right? So it's a little different. It's kind of like a twist on it. So it's what you already do. It's just incorporating, seeing how CBD and THC can be incorporated within.
I like that. And so I always get confused. What is the difference between THC and CBD? Like, what's the difference there?
So they both come from the marijuana plant itself. They're both within. The only difference is that with CBD, you won't feel any of like the effects of the. Excuse me, I won't say that you won't feel the effects. You won't feel high, basically. Like you don't feel the high effects. THC, you get the high effect. CBD is more so like a pain relief. Just kind of like get you up and pick you up. The biggest thing really is for pain relief, honestly. Whereas THC, it's a good creativity booster. It's CBD also does help to stimulate your appetite as well. The THC helps to stimulate your appetite like no other. It helps to keep you feeling good, feeling happy, feeling really uplifted and pretty euphoric. So that way you're not pretty depressed or anything like that. So that's really just like the basis of it. And I just always tell people, don't be a puss. Just get you some THC and stop playing games.
I like that. I like that. Well, Sydney, before you go, I want to tell you I'm so happy I got to sit down and talk with you today. You are
Yes,
a
this
big
is
boss. You were so
fun.
fun. And before you go, you even when you exit, you got to give us something that you're grateful for. So you got to give us another thing you're grateful for.
Yes. Okay, let me think. You know what? I am grateful for. Dang. I'm grateful for so much. See, abundance really like gave it all away earlier for what I was like really, really grateful for. But let me see. I'm grateful for this community. Boom. I am genuinely grateful for like the cannabis community because like I told you guys, this community will embrace you like no other. They'll teach you, they'll network with you, they'll connect you with different people instantaneously and very, very fast. And that's something that I definitely do love a lot. Whether you are blue, black, brown, or purple, the cannabis industry is literally one big ass industry. So I do love that. It's just the government who's fucking with us. But outside of that, we are great.
I agree right there. Right. So going to tell everybody where they can find you and where they can watch your show and how to get your products before you go?
Yes, absolutely. So you guys can follow me on Instagram at Sydney Bowden TV. That's SYDNEYBOWDEN TV, or at Mother of Green Co. That's just Mother of Green Co., which is like super duper easy. You also can go to the website, which is also Mother of Green. It's in both of the bios. If you want to definitely get some of the products. Now, if you guys want edibles, so I definitely do sell edibles, all types of treats, all 100% homemade, made from scratch. Woo! Baked goods that you guys can definitely also see on my page as well. You just DM me, you text me. The instructions are certainly on the page for how you can go ahead and place those orders. If you want rescue lips or your topicals, you can certainly place those orders online without a problem. Or if you just want to DM me as well, I take orders like that too. If you text me, I'm still gonna take your order. I don't turn away $1. Don't you worry, I don't turn not $1 away. So that's how you can find me, connect with me, do whatever we gotta do. I'm not one of those people to tell you I don't talk through here. Shit, I'm talking. Hey,
y'all heard her. Well, I want to thank you for joining. I've definitely enjoyed having you, and you guys have got all her information. Make sure you contact her if you're looking for edibles, or even catch up on her show. You can all get those things from her Instagram account, or you can actually, email her online and get some of those edibles. Thank you for joining, Sid. I do appreciate you. Before we go, I'll say that I'm grateful for having a kind of well-behaved kid. I know y'all may have heard him screaming, but he been really good today.
That's so good. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. And baby, little people are just like so much joy. So I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Somebody said, let me know that Rescue Lips is bomb and a must. Okay, Raven.
Boom. Okay. Thank you, Raven. Because it works, you guys. I'm telling you, just literally overnight, because I get it. Where some days, it may be 2 days, I might go without my Rescue Lips and I see a little black line. That night, we throwing that Rescue Lips on every hour, because when I wake up the next morning, I better have some pink lips. And I do. Get it.
Orange. Somebody said orange. Well, I thank you for having you. I hope you have a good day. Thank you guys for joining us. My viewers are always the best.com. My name is Cherrell. I'm the host of Let's Talk, you guys, and this ain't a podcast. Thanks for joining me, Sydney.
You're welcome. See you guys later. Bye.